Hi, welcome to EMDESK Tutorials. Today, I will be showing you how to set up your budget for a project. Let's get started. To create a budget entry, you must first go to the Resources section and click the Add Budget button at the bottom. The sidebar will be pulled up where you will be asked to enter the details on a new budget entry. Now, let's create a budget. First, enter the amount of the budget. I was granted 100,000 euros for Work Package 1. So I will select Work Package 1 as the activity of which the budget will fall under. Here you now have the option of setting the participant for whom the budget is planned for and who is to consume the resources. This can be your organization, a team, a partner, or a specific employee, whatever your participant structure is set up to be. However, if you haven't set up the participant structure yet, you have the option of leaving this section blank, as this can be selected at a later time. Now select the appropriate cost category and then enter the description of the budget. These cost categories here are provided by the project template that was selected during the project creation. However, if needed, you can customize them entirely. You can add another type from here or manage all of them in the customization section under settings. With the option Set Period, you have the possibility to schedule the budget for a specific time period. For example, this can apply if you plan to use this budget in the first 2 months of your activity duration. Otherwise, the system assumes that the budget is spent evenly over the activity duration. Finally, click Save Resource. I will now set a table column filter to participant 5 to see his expenses only. And here is our new budget that we have just created. With the budget planner, you have the freedom to specify the budget more broadly or in greater detail. For example, I would like to break down the budget of 100,000 euros for laboratory equipment and consumables in Work Package 1 a bit more and define budgets for individual items. First, I remove the original entry for the 100,000 euros from the rough budgeting. And now I will divide the 100,000 euros by creating 3 budgets with more detailed descriptions that give a total of 100,000 euros. As you can see, I have now created a detailed budget for laboratory equipment for Work Package 1, which ultimately adds up to the same total budget of 100,000 euros that I had originally entered. So far, we have seen how to create budgets for other costs, such as goods or services. However, the largest share of the project budget is typically scheduled for and consumed by personnel costs. Before you create the personnel budget, it is advisable to have already created the participants who will provide the personnel resources and carry out the work. If you do not have your participants created, you can follow our previous video on creating participants for a step-by-step tutorial. Creating a personnel budget works similarly to creating a regular budget. As explained earlier, you can decide whether to schedule a general personnel budget for the entire project, or you can choose to schedule a more detailed personnel budget, for example, per work package or even tasks, whatever benefits your project the most. So to begin to create a personnel budget, we will once again click the Add Budget button at the bottom of the resource page, so the sidebar can be pulled up. Select the activity for which the budget is scheduled for. In this example, I will schedule 150,000 euros of personnel costs for participant 5. Select the participant for whom the budget is planned for and who will carry out the work. As you can see, I can select any participant or any activity here. This is because I have full management rights for resources and I'm able to plan budgets on any activity for any participant. However, depending on other users' access rights, other team members might have restricted access to their participant and maybe even for selected activities. So they will only be able to plan budgets for their own participants and their own activities. So let's continue and select the cost category, which in this case, it would be personnel. The indirect cost rate automatically shows up as defined in the participant's financial profile. However, if you have not yet defined an indirect cost rate, you can do so by clicking Add Indirect Cost Rate. And if you would like to edit your indirect cost rate, then you can do so by clicking the Edit Indirect Cost Rate button right under. Now you can pick the right cost rate. If you have not yet created a cost rate for a participant, like for my employee Edmund, you can do so by clicking Create a Cost Rate. To learn more about how to set up a participant financial profile with personnel costs and indirect cost rates, then please watch our video, Setting the Financial Profile of a Participant. Once the cost rate is selected, you will see that the field to enter the effort appears at the top, right next to the budget field. Here, enter the planned effort, which is in my case 18.75 person months. The standard unit is again set in the participant's financial profile, but you can choose to enter it in another unit here, either person month, person day, or person hour. You will see how the personnel budget of 150,000 euros is auto-calculated based on the selected rate of 8,000 euros per person month. This also works the other way around. With changing the personnel budget, the effort will then automatically adjust accordingly. Then enter a description for the budget. And again, if needed, you can also schedule this budget for a specific period. Click Save Resource to save and schedule the budget. And here, we see the personnel budget that we have just created. Now, if you would like to set up the personnel budget more detailed, you can do so by splitting the 150 euros in multiple entries. First, I will need to remove the original entry of 150,000 euros for personnel costs. And now I will divide the 150,000 euros by creating 3 budgets with more detailed description that give a total of 150,000 euros. I will now set an additional table column filter under cost category and select personnel costs. As you can see, I have now split the total budget of 150,000 euros or 18.75 person months and allocated personnel efforts into 3 different work packages, which ultimately adds up to the same total budget and time that I had originally entered.
EMDESK. Focus on research, drive innovation.